to Graham Hill's Weekend Variety Wireless on Radio Live.
Pop into the chemist, you'll see homeopathic remedies all over the place, especially for people dealing in alternative treatments, so-called alternative treatments. It sounds scientific, and it also, is given a lot of respect. And people swear by it. What is it? And an interesting new survey has been released by medical researcher Dr. Shaun Holt. Shaun, what have you found in your research in particular?
Yeah, it was a survey of people who are in GP surgeries waiting to see the doctor, and we asked about 150 of them what they thought about how homeopathy, had they tried it, and what did they think it was. And really it sort of confirmed my suspicions that a lot of people use it and think that it's really good, but they don't actually know what it is. What is it? Well, the homeopathy involves diluting natural substances so much so that there is actually nothing left. And that's one of the premises. The other one is that like cures like. So neither of these have any scientific validity at all.
What about the theory of inoculation? Isn't that like treating like? Gives cowpox to someone to cure smallpox?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, vaccinations are well understood, and we do actually give, you give a good dose, you give millions and millions of bacteria or killed viruses when you give vaccines, so that's totally different to giving nothing.
If there was stipulation that the homeopathic remedies the ingredients had to be labelled, what would they have to put on it?
Well, this is interesting, and my wife was offered a homeopathic product in the pharmacy a few weeks ago when she asked for something for a wart that our boy had. And she checked the label and she saw that it was homeopathic, and she declined it. But all the label said was whatever the ingredient was, and then it said 30C. Now, I know what that means, but I'll bet you that 99% of the public don't know what that means. What it means is it's been diluted 1 in 100 times, 30 times. So that'd be less than one drop in the whole of Lake Taupo, so there's nothing there. So, I think labelling is also a concern. There is the theory going around amongst homeopathists that water remembers where it's been. Yeah, that's a theory. I mean, that's just baloney. I mean, you don't need to be a doctor to realise that. It's, we're talking about magic water and magic pills. This is witchcraft. We have practising homeopath on the line, and only fair to get her point of view on that. And we welcome Mary Time. Mary, what do you make of those statements from Dr. Holt that there's nothing in it?
Well, I completely refute that, of course. There is nothing of the natural substance, of the original substance in it, because it's diluted so much. But there is an energy, the presence of the energy of the substance is there in the water. And if you go to Dr. Emoto in Japan, his experiments with water molecules, and he shows how the energy that from labels put on bottles of water changes the microscopic view of the water molecules, you will see how the energy actually works. And this is where homeopathy comes from. It comes from the energy, and that's what makes it very safe. And it doesn't come with all the side effects that you get from the likes of vaccinations, inoculations and such, because they are putting millions of live bacteria into your body, and they're giving the same dose to every person, and it's not individualised.
What energy? What energy is this? Energy is an easy word to use, and it's sort of a catch-all.
The whole universe is energy. We're all built on energy. We all vibrate at different energy vibrations, and that's what makes us what we are and who we are, and that's what makes stone what it is and water what it is. It's the energy. It's how it vibrates. How the energy vibrates and the pace of its vibration is what changes and works with the substance of the molecules in your body.
Why isn't the scientific community convinced? First of all, Dr. Holt.
Well, I mean, if there was energy, then you'd be able to detect that energy. It's very simple. And, if I say I've got unicorns at the bottom of my garden, I should be able to show you some evidence, show you a video of those. Anyone can say there's energy that does things, but you have to demonstrate it. And as you said in your intro, there is a $1 million prize for anyone who can demonstrate homeopathy works, or even that this energy, so-called, exists.
Why hasn't this $1 million prize been taken by somebody who can show the veracity of homeopathic claims, Mary?
Because the $1 million prize has been given by a magician who has decided he's not going to be convinced anyway, so it doesn't matter how much scientific stuff is put in front of him, he's never going to give away $1 million.
He would refute that.
But you can go to, there's the Glasgow Hospital homeopathic hospital, which the government has built in the grounds of the General Hospital in Gartnavel.
Yeah,
And they give a lot of scientific evidence. They do a lot of scientific evidence. The government would not be putting that kind of money into homeopathy if it wasn't scientifically being proved to be workable.
Dr. Holt, is there scientific, good, solid scientific proof for it?
There's absolutely none. And, I mean, just look at the big picture about, science. Why do we have science? Well, our senses can fool us. The Earth looks flat. It looks like the sun goes around the Earth. So we have science. And in terms of medical treatments, we have a very, very simple way of testing them. You just do what we call a placebo-controlled randomized trial. It's very simple. You get two groups. One group gets the active thing that you're testing, and the other one doesn't, and you see what the difference is. And homeopathy fails every single time when this is applied, so it doesn't work.
No, I'm sorry, that's not exactly true. Homeopathy has not failed every single time. And I just say that I think you should really look a bit further afield for your information, Dr. Holt. I don't refute any of the information you have, and not in the slightest. I wouldn't want to be putting you down on whatever it is that you're the proponent of for treatment for medicine. But there's all sorts of therapies and medicines and treatments out there that work for different people at different levels. And I think that everything should be looked at in science is looking at homeopathy in a big way, and the World Health Organization, I believe, has said that homeopathy is the second most widely used form of medicine worldwide, and I don't think they would put a statement like that without it being proven in some form or another.
Oh, well, no, not necessarily. It's science isn't a popularity contest.
Science is always changing.
Yeah, yes, it is, and it is prepared to admit it's wrong when it's wrong.
And And there are a lot of scientists who have come up with saying that they have said they were wrong because they proved it to be right.
Yes. Now, can you point to any of these studies? Because I would understand if it is provable that it works, which is really the business end of this discussion. Does it work? And you say it is scientifically provable, it would turn a lot of science on its head, would it not?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of things that have been proven, and that some scientists are working with it, and some scientists are working against it. But that doesn't mean to say that it's going to hit. Everybody 100% is going to go for it. I mean, everybody 100% doesn't go for things like chemotherapy or radiotherapy or surgery or drugs or antidepressant pills.
No.
But that doesn't mean to say that it's not provable that they work.
No, exactly.
Or they don't work, or they've got side effects, or any other that kind of data. But if you want some information, you go to the Glasgow Homeopathic Hospital and get the information from them. You go to Ireland. There's a couple of scientists in Ireland who have recently done experiments where they actually came across homeopathy by accident and proved it from their own perspective, not through the perspective of homeopaths.
According to you, Dr. Holt, what is? Do you have any? Do you hold any veracity in that, and what the Glasgow Homeopathic Hospital may say? Are there scientific studies that you can point to that?
I mean, something there they are. In medicine we can debate, and there's good evidence for and against. Homeopathy is not one of those. And to be fair, most homeopaths would readily admit that there is no good scientific research. What they would say is that they have lots of testimonials from satisfied customers. No,
that's not true. Most homeopaths would not say that they don't know how homeopathy works. If most homeopaths said that, then homeopathy wouldn't be as widely regarded as it is. There wouldn't be the books out there on homeopathy that there is.
But there are a lot of books, Mary, that doesn't add, I'm sorry, to the veracity of homeopathy. There are a lot of books about all sorts of things out there that are just wacky.
That's exactly right. And that's all Dr. Holt is going on as well.
Dr. Holt?
No. It's very, very simple. There is not one well-done small study out there, and there have been hundreds done. So it really is a clear-cut case. And let's go back to testimonials. So most homeopaths would make the point that they have lots of satisfied customers, and they say things like, it wouldn't be so popular if it didn't work. However, as you point out, it's not a popularity contest. And also, people can be wrong. If you look at the USA, tens of thousands of people think they've been abducted by aliens. I don't think that's true either.
I'm not even going to run those people down if they think they've been abducted by aliens. They've been through some sort of experience. I'm not going to make any comment on it and run it down.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Just one at a time.
Yeah.
Carry on, Dr. Holt.
Yeah, I was just making the point that testimonials are, while they're interesting, they're a very good starting point for research, but even a small trial is far, far more powerful than hundreds of testimonials. And I was using the example of alien abductions, what many people believe has happened, but of course, they're almost certainly mistaken.
Okay, Mary, if we can point to scientific studies that have been done that show it doesn't work, would you be prepared to...
Well, I've
give it up and try something else.
Homeopathic Hospital, they have got studies. If Dr. Holt cares to get in touch with them, they will give him the results.
Okay, and if those studies are published in scientific journals and show that it does work, it would be very big news indeed. Wouldn't it,
It is
Mary?
big news. It is big news, so why is Dr. Holt refuting it?
Yeah, look, Graham, I'm very, very familiar with the literature out there. There are a couple of quirky studies that no one would accept, because there's also bad research as well. There's never been one well-done study on homeopathy. But Graham, you make a very good point about changing your mind. I'm a scientist. It doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. I'm interested in the truth. Now, I would change my mind straight away, and I'm sure you would as well. The first study that came out that showed that homeopathy worked, that was well done, I'd change my mind and I would advocate it. But until that time, I'll strongly oppose it. But I think you'd be very hard-pressed to find a homeopath who would tell you what evidence would convince them that they should no longer promote it.
Mary?
Right, well, I'm quite happy to find... I'm actually out at the moment, so I'm actually quite happy to find information that I can send to Dr. Holt. If he wishes to send me an email, I'm quite happy to email him information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there may be some homeopaths out there who don't know exactly how it works. There may be some doctors out there who don't know exactly how the drugs that they give to their patients work.
Yeah,
I'm quite sure there are.
Certainly.
So that's
a different argument, Mary.
It is a different argument, but that's the argument he's putting forward.
Do you need science to back you up? Why don't you just say you believe
I don't need science to back me up. Dr. Holt certainly does, and if he wants that back up, I'm quite happy to give it to him.
So you don't need science to back you up?
I don't need science to back me up on anything I do.
That would be a worry.
But I can give it to you.
Uh-huh. Okay. Dr. Holt, the thrust of the survey is mainly that people don't understand what they are taking, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, and this is what I sort of expected to find, is that when you explain to people that it's diluted away and there's nothing there, they say, oh, right, okay, well, maybe it's not so good then, because what people just don't know what it is. They just think it's all sort of natural, nice stuff.
Okay, Mary, that's an interesting...
that there's nothing there.
I beg your pardon?
I explain to people how it works on an energetic level. I explain to them what is actually there, that the energy presence is there, and the energy pattern is there, and I explain how that operates and how that works, and I explain that to all my patients.
Okay, well, that's a good thing that you do. It seems as though some of your colleagues aren't, and maybe they should.
Maybe so, yeah, but as I say again, that's the same in all sorts of therapies and all sorts of treatments, orthodox medicine as well. Doctors don't tell their patients exactly what
That's another argument. We're talking about homeopathy
exactly.
here. Okay, look, both of you, I appreciate your time very much, and there's one thing very interesting about the debate around homeopathy. There is not much that I can see in the scientific community. Happy to get the emails if you want to CC me with the information too, Mary, but it does get people's dander up, doesn't it?
It does, yes, it does. And
Why?
It does that for a reason. It does that for a reason, because people want to understand and they want to know how their healing works.
What do you think?
They want to know what makes them ill, and they want to know what's going to make them better. And they want to take more responsibility for their own healing process.
Okay, Dr. Holt, I'll give you the last word on why do you think it gets people's emotions going?
Well, anyone who believes in science and rationality, it does get them going, because, our progress in the last couple hundred years, where we've tripled life expectancy, is mostly down to science and rationality. And when we see a backward step into irrationality and mysticism, it certainly gets me very angry indeed.
Thank you both very, very much. What's My Line is next, and we speak to a gas station attendant called Bruce Arbuckle.